Have an absolutely beautiful morning here today. Whew, there's nothing like riding bikes in the early AM in the springtime when everything is just so pristine. I have a fully charged e-bike here. And life is good. Life is good. I do have a question for you guys. Leave a comment down below right now, just do it, on what e-bike do you currently ride? I want to gather a consensus here, because I have no idea what's actually the most popular brand. I mean, of course, we have names like Super73, very popular, but also very expensive. So there's no way that's what most people have. So following that logic, it's got to be like a budget brand, right? Electric, maybe rad power. But leave a comment on what bike you currently ride. What is this? Can I go here? No dumping allowed. It says nothing about e-bikes. Okay. This is something. I was about to say, hopefully you guys don't mind my, mundane routes that I do, but... Oh, I am discovering stuff. Okay, this video just got a lot more exciting. Okay, I'm very close to that person's backyard, but this is definitely a public trail. I'm just gonna keep telling that to myself. But my next video on this channel is going to be pretty special. So the plan here is I'm going to be renting, hopefully, a pretty epic kind of cabin in the woods Airbnb, and the location of it is going to be the furthest extent from where I am now in terms of the range of my e-bike, which is about 45 miles away from here. And considering that I live in New Jersey, kind of by New York City, that means I'm going to be essentially riding across the state to Pennsylvania, all on my e-bike. Now, real quick, when it comes to long distance e-bike rides, it's actually not that impossible to find outlets along the way. So if need be, you can stop at a gas station, get a sandwich, charge up for 30 minutes, and with a 5 amp charger like I have, that can seriously extend your range. And can we just appreciate how epic my mid-drive motor just did on that steep incline? So like I was saying, we're going to ride to this Airbnb. It's going to be a very fun adventure trying to get there. Is this trail, like, over? What is going on here? Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Man, mid-drive motors. Okay, but finishing my thought here. So yeah, once I get to the Airbnb, once we get to the Airbnb, of course, I'm going to show it off to you guys, do a little tour, and then we're going to go on local trails and different bike routes. So it should be a very fun video. So hopefully that'll be my next upload, or at least the following one after that. Okay, I gotta get out of here. Whoa. Okay, I'm at 80.6 volts. That's plenty of juice. Alright, let's continue here. How you doing? Okay. This is kind of epic. Oh! That's a life hack. Looks like they're paving that road. That's actually really cool. Okay, you guys are going to see that more on the channel. See, this is another thing I love about bikes. They allow you to really just discover stuff, have fun, go on the path less traveled. Okay, but as you guys can see in the title of this video, we're talking about the Super73 Knock-offs. So if you go to a site like Alibaba and you just type in Super73, you're not going to see actual Super73s, but you will see a lot of Chinese clones. Now, I'm not going to be making fun of these or anything. The point of this discussion is to identify a potentially good frame or foundation for a custom build, because that's a topic we discuss on this channel. I know a lot of you guys are into custom builds, so am I. Now, I did make a video, already a week or two ago, saying how I think the actual Super 73 R series with full suspension is a great foundation for an e-bike build, like buying it just customized, largely because of the gigantic opening in the middle of the frame, which is perfect for adding extra batteries, motors, all that kind of stuff. And the bike looks good. That's the main thing with the Super 73. It's a real looker of a bike. The main disadvantage is that the bike is super expensive, and that's where the Chinese knockoffs come into play. And when you browse Alibaba, there's a ton of variations and different companies selling them. They're all pretty similar at the end of the day, and from what I can see, they're all less than 800 bucks, not counting shipping. Now, from what I can tell, most of these bikes are full-on e-bikes. They're not just the frames. I'm sure you can get just the frame, but for 800 bucks, having a motor and a battery isn't a bad deal, although I don't know the quality of the components, and that's why right now when I'm evaluating these bikes, I'm doing it through the lens of just the quality of the frame and its potential to be upgraded and made into something really special. Because that's the only actual reason to buy a Super 73 knockoff like this. It's because you want to make it into something very unique and special, not because you want to actually pretend to have a fully functioning Super 73. And to be honest, 800 bucks just for a full suspension bike frame is actually a pretty good deal. So they do have a lot of the advantages of the actual Super 73 in the way that the middle of the bike is perfect for customizing, putting in a motor, a battery, controller. It has that perfect vacuum in the middle to accommodate those components if you want to add them. In terms of the front suspension fork, I would not trust it. Again, I'm evaluating this just based off of the frame. So you can easily go on Amazon, buy a cheap RockShox suspension fork, and that'll be a really amazing piece of equipment. So the way I see it, there's really three limiting factors to these cheap Super 73 knockoff frames. The first is the head tube. So I don't think these have a tapered head tube, and that's just going to affect the kind of fork you can install on these. Although out of these three concerns I have, that's definitely the smallest. I just looked down at my bike and I noticed that this screw is coming off. Oh, it's bent. Okay, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. I definitely tightened this. This is just the cover, where the chains stay for the motor. Don't know why that happened, but I will put this in my pocket. Okay, so if you want to turn this frame into something special, the three limiting points I have are the head tube, as I just talked about. The second is the bottom bracket. None of the suppliers give you much information on that, so I don't know if it's a 68mm threaded bottom bracket or what. And that's important because it's going to dictate any kind of mid-drive setup you can install on this bike, which could be a limiting factor. And then the third and final point of concern I have is the rear pivot point. So because these are cheap knockoffs, I don't know the quality of the bearings. And if that's constructed in a very cheap, flimsy way, that can be extremely dangerous, especially if you plan on using this frame in a high-powered e-bike build. So those are my three major points of concerns when it comes to using these cheap Super 73 knockoffs to make a custom bike build. Aside from these, I think it's great. No shame in it at all. You're definitely not going to be fooling anybody into thinking you have an actual Super 73, but the bike frames do look good, and they're quite conducive to customizing, in my opinion. So that's the discussion for today. Hope you guys did deeply enjoy the video. You guys know that we appreciate a like, subscribing to the channel, and make sure to stay tuned for my next couple of videos, because we're going to be doing that epic long distance ride to an Airbnb, exploring that. And if you guys do end up enjoying that kind of adventure content, I could easily make a lot more of it. And I'll probably mix it in along with these kind of more informational discussion videos, because I like both, and I think you guys like both as well. But that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.